Welcome back, and this is still the Press on KAFTAN television, and like I said earlier, we are reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja City. Well, right now we've gotten to the segment where I am being joined by a guest to analyze some of the headlines that has made it to our national dealings, and with me in the studio this morning is Azeez Fatai Adesokan, who is a journalist. You're highly welcome.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Glad to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. I mean, let me begin by saying Happy New Month.
Happy New Month, but with no new fuel.
That's the situation we find ourselves. This is also a gentle reminder that our phone lines are now open for you to call in to give in your contribution or make an observation. And when you call, don't forget you have just 60 seconds. Azeez, let me welcome you again, but let me start by saying, how is it with you with this? Look at almost all the headlines that made it to our national dealings today talks about the petrol price, which is likely to rise as NNPCL admits financial strain. So the thing is, I thought this government promised promised to make the burden of Nigerian lighter. What do you think? Do you see this fuel scarcity of a thing coming to an end anytime soon?
Well, I don't want to.
And let me add to it. I don't know if you are aware. Just last week, the federal government gave marketers and retailers just 1 month ultimatum to cut down the crash prices of commodities. And it begs for the question: when the means of transportation is even high, how is that achievable? Please, do you have an idea of how we can get out of this petrol scarcity and all this thing, because it's getting out of hand?
The quagmire we find ourselves economically is not funny. And it speaks volume, and speak more of our governance structure. Okay. And it's not speaking volume in that direction of economic developments. We can't at this juncture of our country still at the mercy of importing fuel into the country. Okay. And by and large, in the last 1 year, I believe this government ought to have actually come up with something, a kind of a stopgap measure. Okay. We can't continue to lament and continue doing the same thing at the same time. Now, fuel per liter is going for 950, 1,000 naira. Depending on where you are buying from. If you are ready to queue at the filling stations of the major marketers, you are going to spend almost the whole day buying at 300 naira different, maybe like 650 or 700 naira. A caller
even said last week on the show that he buys for 1,200 per liter. That's fuel station.
Of course, if you want to buy and go, and since you have emergency and what have you, coming down here to the studio, you see commuters on the road being stranded. They are going to Wuse, Maitama. They are being stranded on the road because vehicles are not much on the road, and the ones they are expensive. How much are we earning? So you see, the bottom line is we are not being serious as a country economically. We are not being serious. It doesn't speak well of a serious country. Continue importing fuel, and our local refineries are not working. Okay. The private initiative from Dangote, we are not seeing the results yet. So I believe at this juncture, what we can do better is for government to come out straight. Is NNPC insolvent? Is Nigeria ourselves insolvent? They just come out straight and tell us what is in the book. That's the truth. Just as a father or as a husband, you just have to hold up to your wife or the general family at large. Say, this family, I'm becoming insolvent. This is the situation in my financial accounts. So that people will know what to expect, when to expect, and how to expect. At this situation, we don't know when. And NNP just came out yesterday and told us they are owing about $6 billion.
Exactly.
And we're having forex issue. A pound today is about 2,000 plus. A dollar today is about 1,600 naira. So where do we go from there? So the bottom line is government ourselves should address us and address the situation. There is emergency in the land. Price of commodities are skyrocketing. I was laughing the other day, one of our veteran journalists, newly appointed, Tunji Bello. The man was telling us that they're giving marketer retailers 1 month ultimatum for them to crash price of commodities. How would they achieve that? Because transportation of goods and services actually relies on this petroleum of a thing. So where do you get that from? If I'm having a kind of supermarket in Abuja, some of these that will be getting displayed there will come from Lagos. So who will now transport? It's not by magic. It has to come from Lagos. Exactly. So from Lagos, the cost of transportation will be included, and government is still taxing us. So the bottom line is Nigerian government as a whole, we are not being serious. That's the truth. We are not being serious.
Okay, before we get to the next question, let's quickly hear from this caller before we move on. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning to you. Glad to have you join us on the press. Your name and where you're calling us from. Don't forget you have just 60 seconds.
Yes, my name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Maiduguri.
Mohammed from Maiduguri, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Before I add to what your guest is just saying, I wanted to suggest through you that if the president simply come back from China, please he should organize media chat. Just like the way former President Olusegun Obasanjo used to do monthly, organizing media chat, hearing from the media, hearing from the people. Let him organize it, because all media aids he's claiming to media aids, honestly, they are not sending his messages directly to us. It's not satisfying us. That is one of the things that is causing problem in Nigeria. That is one. Two, I'm suggesting that the EFCC should be expanded to cover all the 36 states and the local government. If all of them are receiving money from the federal government, why should the federal government will not monitor how they are spending this money? The money the federal government is giving to state and local government is not reaching the grassroots. Honestly speaking, that is one of the reasons why we are suffering in this country. Everybody will sit down and say, Tinubu is Tinubu alone that is the leader in Nigeria. He is giving out the money. Why the money is not reaching? Why there is no money to monetary mechanism? Let us be sincere to ourselves. Then this issue of this EFCC, everybody knows what these big marketers are doing. As long as the president says he has removed a subsidy, he has already pinched where he's paying them. So they will make sure they sabotage whatever good effort he wants to send it to. President must wear his uniform as a soldier, because he's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. So let him stand and make sure he fight any evil, because we voted for president, not these people that are hiding in the streets. Let us be Nigerians. Let us be patriotic. Then secondly, or lastly, this aviation law, I read it on your paper headline, America. Because they are independent, they decide what happened to their country. So we too, as a Nigerian, we are non-aligned movement, member of non-aligned movement. Nigeria can buy from east, west, south, everywhere, just as we were before. So we should not just align ourselves completely dollar. Everybody is changing dollar now. Stop finding, including $10 are found in some of these big men houses. Because some of them don't even know which is original dollar or no dollar. Dollar. Must we remain as a dollar people? Why can't we open ourselves and be independent to our country, so that we'll be independent the way we were before? Nigeria is a great nation, and God has really blessed this country. We shouldn't allow ourselves to come back to that kind of bigger nation, and the Western people are trying to put us to be.
All right.
Please, you the media people, should people have a duty to expand and create greater awareness to our Nigeria. So let us be ourselves. It's not issue of the Yoruba. No.
All right. Your thoughts are noted. Thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful day ahead. I was going to ask before the caller called. You said the federal government should come out and tell us what is going on with this fuel scarcity and how much. But before you remember, of course, the day Mr. President was inaugurated, he said fuel subsidy is gone. Okay, now the question, and a lot of Nigerians has been asking, okay, the money for the fuel subsidy, where is it going to? And now there is still rumor that we are back to paying subsidy. We don't even know which to believe.
Yes, like the caller from Maiduguri, like he actually posited, he actually spoke fine, that the media aides for Mr. President, they are not representing him well. We're having a kind of somersault communication gap. This one will say this tomorrow, NNPC will say this today, another one will say, Mr. President himself, as the Minister for Petroleum, as no minister was actually appointed to that office, he should come out and address us under 20 minutes. What is the state of our petroleum episode in this country? How do we come out of this quagmire? People were ready to pay, even though as he told us that subsidy was gone at the inauguration. I was at Eagles on that day, and I was even looking for perhaps maybe there was some sort of magic that will come thereafter. But the perennial crisis still persists. So where do we go out of there? We still go back to the presidential table. The man himself should come back from China, address us and tells us what is really the situation with NNPC. We can't continue suffering like this. Only God knows those people that have been out of job, businesses are being clamped down. See, we are not, the economy is not moving. That's the truth. And people are, the purchasing power. If you buy these products on the naira today, by the time you come back next week, it becomes 120, 130. So we can't continue. And we run generator economy. Our life revolves around this petroleum of a thing, and I believe that's what the government should take more serious. Without this petroleum of a thing being solved, our problems is becoming, God forbid that thing. So we can't continue like this. That's the truth. We can't continue like this. Yes, we are paying subsidy. As for me, because the landing cost, look at the estate. Government is making money. Exactly. They are making money, and they say there is increase in allocation to this state government. See, whatever you cannot inject in the central economy, we can't continue to be doing a palliative economy. You can't continue. As an adult, I can't continue to go back to my father's house and be collecting bag of rice. I have to be independent. There must be, the economy must be working centrally. The economy is not working. When they are saying, oh, we are distributing 20 bag of rice, or 10,000 trailers, 50, those things cannot work. You have to inject stimulation in the economy, not palliative. I'm not sure if you are getting my point.
Of course I do, because but before then, because I was asking during was it 2 months ago when the federal government came up with the narrative that a bag of rice is sold for 40,000 at the subsidized rate. I have a guest in the studio who said who I asked, do you have a friend who is a civil servant? And he said yes. I said okay, because I asked him, are you aware of where the bag of rice is exactly? And he said no. Now my question is, do you think this government is being sincere enough to the masses? Because let's look at it from this angle. We are into this economic crisis when this government approved 900 billion naira for Hajj. Now presidential jets have been bought. Don't you think is a misplaced priority? But before you answer that, let's quickly hear from this very caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you join us. Oh, where are you calling from and what's your name?
Please, can you buy tablets for me?
Can I buy a tablet for you? That has to be from your mom, I guess. This is a little shy, but don't worry. Tell your mom and your dad and pray for them to have the money to buy you a tablet.
And pray for Nigeria for fuel to be available.
And pray for Nigeria to be for things to be easier, so that they can be able to buy you tablets. All right. Oh, well, I will have to let you go. Good morning. Glad to have you join us on the press. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Honorable Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, Honorable Chris, please go ahead with your thoughts. And you have just 60 seconds.
Yeah. Let me talk about this fuel subsidy and the way things are going.
Okay.
Do you believe what Nigerian government are telling you since how many days now, since how many years?
The question should be, do we believe? It's you and I. We are both Nigerians.
You believe it's APC government?
Well, I can't tell for sure. I'm just we can only listen to what they have been saying and watch them and hold them accountable, and that's what we are doing here.
Okay. Sorry, let me tell you, that refinery they're talking about just close to my backyard here.
Okay.
Do I surprise you now?
Okay, please go ahead.
How many times when they told you people that the refinery will work by this September, did they tell you it's 2024? Did you hear them say the refinery will work by 2024? They said September. How many times? Nothing. Even that very day you hear congratulations. The refinery started working. Congratulations. Nothing. If you want me to make small video this thing about the refinery there, you send me, I'll go there. It's just close to my backyard here.
Okay.
So anybody telling you refinery will work, refinery will do this, don't listen to that person. Anybody coming to you to tell you that the refinery is going to work, run, pursue that person. That refinery is not going to work this year, neither the other year, or neither the other. Nothing is working there, nothing.
All right.
My sister, do you hear me?
I've heard it.
Nothing is working there. Until you people find out those refineries where they are taking the crude to outside country. Do you hear me? Some of the Nigerian politicians, do they have refinery outside? Until you people find out who have business of this refinery of the thing, who are those that are interested in carrying fuel to outside country and refinery to bring in the Nigerian refinery. For example, now, if Mr. Tinubu have refinery outside, do you want the Nigerian refinery to work? where will be taking the crude? Who will be?
Please round up with your thoughts. All right.
That is the problem.
Your observation. All right. Thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful day. I asked a question before the caller he said, and I asked you a question. I said, do you think this government is being sincere enough to the masses? And don't you think, or do you think their priorities are being properly placed or misplaced priorities?
You see, the bottom line here is successive Nigerian government has not been fair to us. We have some that have been, we've not seen economic improvement as a whole, and we've been actually been told about palliatives. Talking about sincerity is a kind of a quoted word, and we don't need to actually need their sincerity. What we need is their performances. We are not seeing these performances. Successive government. Buhari spent 8 years. By now we should be talking about a functional refinery for our country. The same government, the same APC government told us that we are going to have a national carrier. Before we knew, it just came and disappeared. Ethiopia, Nigeria, Air, whatever. Adesokan, the aviation minister. And it's down the line. We are having over 12 months at the saddle. We've not seen improvement in the same whole episode about this petroleum regime. So that speaks volume and takes us back that are we having sincerity in the leadership of our country? Because NNPC will say this tomorrow, media aid to Mr. President will say this tomorrow. The reason I said earlier on that Mr. President himself, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should come out and address under 10 minutes situation of things in the petroleum ministry. See, we have a TV station here, KAFTAN TV. If something is wrong, there's a department for everything. Exactly. We are there in the studio. If there's anything, if there are any issues, a particular department will answer for it. What is happening in our petroleum sector? What is that? Nobody knows, except as a guest. I just want to be guessing here. We are in the dark. We don't know what is it. We told us yesterday we are owing $6 billion. How come you are owing $6 billion? Are you not making profits? Exactly. Are you not making profits? So what is that happening to our refinery? You've been spending turnaround maintenance money on this. Money was being budgeted yearly and yearly in the last 20 years. What is the result? It's not. You see, we are just. Let me say we are just being deceived by the Nigerian government as a whole. And I believe this music must stop. We can't continue like this. All right.
I love that word. This music must stop. But let's quickly hear from our caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you join us on the press. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is I'm calling from Badagry.
You're calling from where? Can you hear me?
I'm calling from Badagry. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Badagry. All right, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, that I love. Is that the federal government is not serious. Nigeria as a whole, we are not being serious. That made it all. That made it all. So we have a cabal. We all know. We know we have a cabal in the country. So why can't the federal government tell us these people that are in charge of this thing? Tinubu and his people, they know all this, but they don't want to tell us the truth. Just like a caller said before, he said they all have a refinery outside the country. So how will they allow the one in Nigeria here to work? It's not possible.
All right. Oh, we lost that caller, but thank you for your contribution. At least you say something that it's notable. Yes. But let's move on to other story. I have this interesting headline on Daily Sun newspaper, which says Akpabio about sued over 21 million jumbo pay. Now the question is, we've seen cases like this even with the past governors. Before you know, you come up with embezzlement, and before you know, the EFCC say they're being called, or they're being EFCC sent for them, and before you know, all these issues like this are being swept under the carpet.
Saga.
Exactly. We even have that of Erufai. We've had many cases like this, and I am wondering, okay, what do you think will be the outcome of this particular case?
Yes, sometimes I have reservation about EFCC, the way they pursue their cases. As an aspirant to the Nigerian bar, I come to realize that they believe so much in sensational news. If you have any evidences against a particular suspect, a particular person that you have actually planned to take to court, you also have actually rejig your evidences, because under admissibility of evidences, under Evidence Act, in law, your evidences must be very solid, not guessing, not because I don't like you. I just say, okay, let me just publish in the newspaper. You don't prosecute it on the pages of newspaper. You prosecute in court. So, and some of these cases, I think, is a minus on the part of the EFCC. But
that of Yahya Bello, all of a sudden, EFCC cannot trace and find Yahya Bello. Do you think, I mean, we've seen issues like this, don't you think? Do you think
it's part of their weak strategy? You don't need to announce to Nigerians or co-guides that you are actually pursuing Yahya Bello for 90 billion. No. Yahya Bello actually handed over in this country. He handed over to his successor. And before he left Kogi State, invitation was not sent to him. If you knew already that you are trailing on him and you don't have anything substantial, why would you rush to the media? You said somebody embezzled 90 billion. You don't need to tell us. Go and tell the courts. The UK authorities, the American authorities will not rush to the media and publish offenses to the media. But we are not dealing with the media. They deal with the particular fellow to have alleged to have committed a certain crime. Look at Hush Puppy. By the time he was arrested, he has been on their trail. By the time he was arrested, prosecuted, they got results. Look at James Ibori. James Ibori ought to have been tried in federal court in Asaba because there is jurisdiction case. Because if you don't have jurisdiction, you cannot try some certain cases. So you now took somebody from Asaba federal court. You took that person to federal court in Kaduna. The case was actually decided and acquitted. So James, it took efforts of the UK authorities for James Ibori to have been convicted. So for we as a country, I don't know when and how we can get serious from our agencies. So 21 million newspaper published, it will end there. Better Edu. What is the case Better? Just refresh on our memories.
Exactly.
What is the end case of Better Edu saga? Bajabi Amila, Tunji Ojo and the likes. What's the end of their saga? We don't know what is going on at EFCC headquarters. The matter is not there. Except another government comes into power that many people that actually want to go after their, they now dig down there. But the bottom line here is, what are we doing rightly in this country?
Exactly.
Petroleum, education, policy somersault, 18 years, 16 years, kidnapping everywhere. 4 days ago, there is a special report in Tribune newspaper that Nigerians have paid over 1 billion as ransom for kidnappers in this country. So we don't know the effect of this as we are damaging our country. The country is not moving forward. And I think Mr. President, yes, he's been trying, but we are not seeing this effort. If you are claiming you are trying...
When you say Mr. President is trying, in what aspect do you think he is trying?
We can say that, but at least we will say we elected him, we have a serious president. But his actions and inactions, we are not yielding results.
Let's tell us how serious the president is. But before we get to that, let me hear from this caller of ours. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you join us on the press. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Austin, and I'm calling from Warri.
Austin from Warri, please go ahead with your thoughts. And please kindly turn down the volume of your TV set, please, so I can hear you properly. Turn down the volume of your TV set and you might have to call us back.
Yeah, okay. Are you hearing me now?
Very well.
Okay. I appreciate the way the man talks. He's not biased. Whether from his look, he might look like a Yoruba man, but he's presenting the issue the way it is. And I think that is one of the things we must bring to play. If Nigeria must work, call a spade a spade. And if you look at this government, too much lies has come in. And my friend always say, every lie has expiry date. The lies of the politicians has expired in this country. If we must move forward, those boys should have this local refinery cooking in the creek. If Nigeria can cook local refinery here, Nigerian politicians can have their own refinery behind our water here. And if they have those refineries behind the water, NFPC refinery will not work. Things will not move forward. And if we must go forward, it is wrong for you to put somebody down because you want to climb. And the person will say a word you think it does not matter. Jonathan said, if they allow him to go and Buhari comes in, it will take Nigeria 30 years backward. What is happening today? I think it's the right time and they got them the power, they can't do nothing. So please, let that man and all good Nigeria put tribe aside and say Nigeria must move forward.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful day ahead. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Glad to have you join us. Glad to have you join us. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Port Harcourt. My name is Honorable Chris O'Chris, my sister. Welcome.
Okay, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Last time, you were here when Adam Oshomole said that if you are corrupt, come to our party, your sin will be forgiven. That's Adam Oshomole now. Last time I checked, it's right in the National Assembly. The saga off your mic, Mr. Speaker, off your mic, Akpati. Where is he now? Senate President. So, how do you think that if Nigeria Senate House is like a heaven, how do you think that God will allow the life of Adam Oshomole and the life of Akpati to be the people that are heading the affair of the Nigeria? How do you think that kind of heaven will be? How do you think that heaven will look? If these men are the people detecting for you, look at Ponde, we ask myself to come and audit, give accounts of their seal worship. I'm a member of so church. If they send me to go and buy keyboard to do everything, when I return back, I'll say, Apostle, sir, this is how much we buy this is the change. If they will not ask you keep the change, you will not know that they will ask you. Not that after coming back from market, you not give accounts. Tell me what is going on. Tell me how this kind of country. Do you think that this is a country where you should be proud of? People are doing anything anyhow. People, you don't probe past government. You don't probe. How can you on earth, a government, sitting on, look at the life of FCT minister, told us last time, he said over his head body that he will not contest. That anybody doing anything with APC, we should take that person to psychiatric hospital. That is what he told us.
Yeah.
But today,
your time is up, please. Wrap up your thoughts.
Have you hear FCT minister condemn the way he condemned administration of Buhari? He told us last time that we should take the person to psychiatric hospital. Is he in psychiatric hospital now? Is he not working with APC? This hunger. Are you seeing him talking? This is the type of people you want me to call my leaders? No, I didn't see them as my leader.
All right. Thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful day. But let me say, Nigeria is the only country we have, according to the former President Buhari, Muhammad Buhari, said Nigeria is the only country we have. And of course, we just have to do all that we can to ensure that Nigerian works, irrespective of however the situation is. But this caller, trust me, really got me tearing. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you join us on the press. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Awusko from Kaduna.
Awusko from Kaduna. Glad to have you join us. Your thoughts, please, and you have just 60 seconds.
You see, since democracy come in 1999, we've not gotten it right.
Okay.
We thought democracy would bring good to our country, but every day things are getting worse. And there's no light in the end of the tunnel. As much as we
haven't gotten to the end yet, so let's keep hope alive.
We'll do that. As much as we try to be optimistic, the daily addition of the negatives is overwhelming. And we thought Bola Tinubu, who was one of those guys in the trenches among the pro-democrats, we thought he's going to do things differently, but he's not doing it. He's rather aligned with these other people who are supporting of the military. We thought he's going to do things differently. And I thought that he should have done it differently. But he's planning to second term. He's supposed to do it right now.
Right.
When he do it right now, we elect him. He needs to hit ground running. People that need to be crossed, he crossed them. So that people who elect him is alliance of evil people because of second term, which is a great mistake that you've done. You see, Jonathan had the opportunity opportunity without confirm to have set the record straight. But they say we should elect him before he does that. And that was a mistake on his part. Tinubu should hit the ground running. Murtala Mohammed took 6 months and transformed Nigeria. Tinubu can do the same.
All right.
I want them to do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful day ahead. Let me come back to you, Fatai. Before we went on taking some calls, you said Mr. President is trying, and just like the last caller now, he said President Bola Tinubu should hit the ground running. And I want you to specifically tell me on which aspect you think the president has done so well. Is it the security? Is it the education? Is it the educational sector? Is it? Tell us exactly where you think the president has gotten it totally right.
Well, I cannot score Mr. President because the central score actually lies on the economy. And whatever you are doing, like I posited that he's trying, that we are not seeing the result of his efforts.
Okay.
Because we are saying that if you want to pick up on power sector, it has improved. If you want to pick up on at least some certain areas of infrastructure, landmark infrastructure concept like Lagos, Badagry to Sokoto, then from Lagos to Calabar, the super highway, and rehabilitation of some roads and whatever. Because Nigeria, we're having deficit in infrastructure, and by and large, the economy must actually be seen to be working. There is no stimulation in the economy. When I was growing up, what we call economy, it is when people are actually not losing their purchasing power. When you have 10,000 naira now, you go to any carton, that money will not last you for 2 days. So we are losing our purchasing power. Price of commodities, basic amenities are not affordable any longer. So things are supposed to be necessity are now becoming luxury. And it became worse. Not that this government created this problem, it became worse enough under this administration in the last 12 months. And that is area Mr. President must come out to address. And in my place in Yoruba adage, they will say, if an idol cannot actually uplift you, the idol should just leave you where you are. That if an idol cannot uplift you, can simply leave you where you are, the particular spot he actually met you. So the bottom line, Mr. President should see, if we cannot progress, we should not actually retrogress. So dollar for 1,600. Somebody, a caller said that we should do it with dollar. We can't do it with dollar. Most of our things are actually dollarized. What we actually import, it will affect price of commodities. Like the fuel of a thing, it is being done at dollar rates. And by the time it comes back to Nigeria to naira money, they will actually charge according to, if the pounds go for 2,000 plus naira. So if I'm bringing anything from the UK, like some of these telephone, if I'm bringing them, the exchange rate, if it is supposed to go for 100 naira, it has to go for 140, 200 naira, because what I bought it from the UK, I bought at the rate of over 2,000 naira to a pound. So you cannot expect me to sell at a loss. I'm a business person. I'm just an instance.
Exactly.
So the one point I'm making is, Mr. President is not saying to Minister of Finance, the man in charge of finance is not doing well. And he appointed him. Yes, his constitutional provision that as Assistant of the Federation will have ministers. So this man again, CBN governor, Cardoso is not doing well. NNPC, that's the main cross of the matter. I don't know why Mr. President is still keeping Mele Kyari. I'm saying this emphatically. I don't know why Mr. President and his cabal, they are keeping NNPC GMD. The man is not working. But the man is actually exhausted. Sometimes you become exhausted. If I'm in the studio here for more than 4-5, you become exhausted. You and I. So the man he has become exhausted on that seat. He has no ideas whatsoever. Imagine a GMD lamenting to us just yesterday that they are owing $6 billion. How come? I think you are getting my point. Yes, so such a man is that he should be excused from office. Then Cardoso himself, Cardoso seems to have actually having an idea that is outdated with all due respect, because I'm not seeing him do anything. There is this Canada that broke up 2 days ago that he acquired Jeep worth of 10 billion naira. I don't know how true about the report, but CBN as authority has not come out to debunk such.
Exactly.
That two Jeeps were actually acquired for Cardoso as CBN governor, one in Lagos, one in Abuja, and other 4 directors at the tune of 10 billion naira. Bulletproof. Where are they going? Who is attacking them? At the expense of the Nigerians.
Exactly.
When we are having dollar at 1.6, businesses are being killed, people cannot import, people cannot travel. Go to any car dealer. They cannot import and buy cars. The people are not even patronizing them. Nigerians is now skyrocketing. So the economy as it is, I don't want to be a pessimist. We continue to be an optimist, but we have to be in tune with reality on ground. Things are not working. That's the truth. Mr. President and the buck stops at his desk. He need to come back from China. He traveled there for some economic efforts. Kudos to him. He should come back and address the economic quagmire, particularly the economy of the CBN dollar rates. Then come back to petroleum. We can't continue like this. This music must stop. We can't continue dancing to this negative music of our economy. That's the truth.
All right. A particular senator from Borno said that the president is not aware of so many things that is happening. Ali Ndume, and of course, when he said that the president have some, what was that English he used again? Some persons in the office that led to his, of course, impeachment as the Senate whip. Do you really think, like he said, like in Ali Ndume's way, that President Tinubu is not aware of so many things? Ndume said, according to Ndume, and I quote, that some persons who are supposed to enlighten Mr. President of what the current actual situation of the economy is are not being allowed to see even the president. So in your own thought, do you think that sounds true? Because you said Mr. President should come back from China. When he returns from China, he should address Nigerians. Tell us what is going on in the NNPC of the fuel oil sector
and in dollar.
So do you really think can we see some atom of truth when Ndume said that Mr. President is not aware of some economic crisis that is going on, because people who are supposed to tell him how it really is are not being allowed to see him?
When the distinguished senator Ndume message actually caused lots of issues, and I had no opinion, because I knew what Ndume was actually saying was sort of truth. But because of being an influential member of the party, being an influential member of the Senate, the channel was somehow negative. That was what the reservation was all about from his party. But by and large, if you look at it critically, if you extract what Ndume said, it's playing out. But Mr. President, if truly is being accessible, that he's not actually listening to the music of Akpabio, of Tajudeen Abba, because they are telling him things are all right. But he doesn't have, he should create another window of communication. I mean, newspapers are there. You can pick up a paper and see the press. And just once in a week, you will know actually what the real situation, apart from briefs from NNPC GMD, the CBN governor that will just sit at the villa and say, Mr. President, and his ratio, percentage, all those are lies.
So you are saying that these people with in their various agencies and ministry are feeding Mr. President with lies? Of
course, they are feeding him from paperwork. But it's not in reality what is going on in town. If we call a GMD NNPC to villa today, will tell you we are expecting consignment, this one is there, we are going to pay this, and just brief Mr. and leave. But that's not the reality in town.
In town, exactly.
I saw commuters, I saw workers hoping to get to their destinations, and they are being stranded on the road while I was driving down here. Is that bad? How can he access Maitama, Federal Secretariat, go to Banex, will say, go to Jabi without vehicle? And these vehicles are on the queue at filling stations. Go to Zone 7, Olusegun Obasanjo, go to places, you see people, commuters at the filling station. So where do people go for? So workers will not be able to get to their work. It will slow down businesses. Goods and services will not be provided. So people are hoteliers are languishing. People are not patronizing. So even if they are offering service, people are not patronizing because there is no money to do so. So the whole thing will now come down to the economy is not working, and our naira is now being messed up. Like a certain country that I don't want to mention their name, that their currency was messed up in the early 90s and what have you. Now Nigerian naira to safer is what again? Nigerian naira to see this is what again? So we are not even talking about the dollars again, even within the West Africa community. So Mr. President should just brace up. We continue to pray for our leaders. As a Muslim, what we are taught is for we to be we continue praying, but want to see effect of our prayers. Not that somebody will buy 10 billion naira jeep and tell me Adesokan to continue praying for him or them.
Let's quickly hear from this caller before we round up our conversation. Good morning. If you can hear me, good morning, and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Chris from Port Harcourt, please go ahead with your thoughts. You have just 60 seconds.
Yeah. what Dume was saying. You know, no matter anything in APC, we still have people that have integrity.
Okay.
You see your guest now, the way he's telling you some of the things, I see him as an upright man. No, I'm not God. But when you hear truth, it's only truth that will save and save this country.
Okay.
If you start any relationship with lie, just mark it one day. That relationship, if you start chasing a woman, I have 2 billion, and you don't have 2 billion, that girl, that lady will be expecting you to buy a Ferrari at the week of 1 million when you, because you already say you have 2 billion.
Yes.
Whereby, I need the Ferrari, you will not put that I don't have. That relationship might crash.
Exactly.
The problem we have in this administration, like Mr. President, went to China. What did he went to China to do? We already saw the whole round, the whole country. No country wins that we already no talk. What did he bring to the table? And the same this man has started join the same thing as Mr. How can you continue to do the same thing, and expect the result? Which China, where are you going? Even the China you are going to their country, what are you going there to look for? We have everything here. Come to Aba, only Aba here. The only problem I have is I don't know if it's maybe government don't want. If you come to Aba here, you see people that will do more than what China are doing. And when I was in Aba, I'm a shoemaker. Aba, power line. If you go there, if we work shoe for you, if we make shoe for you, we have three standard of shoe. We have what we call area. We have power line. We have other ones. Most of these shoe where you see, we after to look people and China, we come and we send it back. You see it made in China or made in they are of course made in Aba. If I show you, if it's online, I show you the shoe I made in Aba, that I'm using. Since how many years now that shoe are still there? The problem is this IUB or what the government don't want to patronize Aba people. Come to Aba now. Come to Aba power line. If you see power line shoe, then you not believe that this shoe is made in Aba. So, Mr. President, go home, come back home. That thing that you are looking in Kavantan, is there for Shokoto. Stop running up and down, begging food. There will no country where Nigerian leaders never talk. Who do this to them?
Thank you very much for your thoughts. Your time is up. You have yourself a wonderful day.
Begging food.
Oh Lord Jesus, I don't want to. But I don't know. Of course, Mr. President has to travel to other countries to be able. But that's let's quickly take this headline before we exit the studio because we are almost out of time. This is coming from Bill Gates. He said Nigerian has second highest rate of food insecurity. And why I want to talk about this is because the basic problem of the ordinary Nigerian, like an average Nigerian, is at least food. But with the situation we are in today, I think a lot of people now eat, will I say 2 minus 1 or 3 minus 2 or eat sometimes even 0 minus 1 or 0 minus 2. How do we tackle this food insecurity? Because people are hungry. I was on air some time ago, and I was telling my MCR people that I almost tear up because people were calling and you could feel the pain in their voices. You could see how pain they are. People could barely afford food. How do we do with this? How do you think it's best to address this food insecurity?
Honestly, we can't be lying to ourselves. Nigeria is on an emergency mode. Yeah. And if situation of a given country or community is now getting to food insecurity, it has become something else.
And Nigeria is rating second.
Yes, and Bill Gates data will not lie. Even though without Bill Gates data, some of us, we can tell ourselves. Exactly. We can tell ourselves. We know where these foods are coming from. And these herdsmen, farmers clashes, kidnapping spree on the farms, go to Zamfara, Sokoto, Benin, KB, Katsina, like 4 or 5 local governments in Katsina. You can't go to farm there, you'll be kidnapped daily. So, and even on Sokoto State, and come to Benue. In Benue, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, people have been crying. People will be sacked from their villages, sacked from their homes. If you are traveling to Taraba or Adamawa now, living from Abuja here, from after Boko, from Boko to Wokari, to Jalingo, to Taraba, to going to, you can't go there broad daylight, you'll be kidnapped. And these are peasant farmers, that these are genuine original farmers. So we are having this problem, perennial problem, and the accumulation of the effect is what we are feeling now. Go to market, go to say market there, go and buy yam. Go to Abaji that we used to have yam at a cheaper rate. Go to Abaji now, or go to Kwali or Gwagwalada. Go there. You can't afford to buy yam from them again because things are now becoming something else. So the food insecurity, as it were, go in tandem with petroleum products. There must be food sufficiency. Food must be available. Apart from that, it must be affordable. How can we make it affordable? That tells us we should look at our petroleum supply.
Exactly.
So we can't continue buying fuel at 600 naira, 900 naira, and you expect price of food to come. It's not possible. Most of if I'm from Delta, I want to eat crayfish, I want to eat ogbon, I want to eat whatever from the east. It has to be transported from the east to Abuja.
Yes.
That will be added to the price of goods and services that will be provided in any canteen I walk into or any market. If you look at the distance from Asaba or from Onitsha or from Owerri or from Hiala to Abuja, before you get to Takpe, go to Auchi, Bini, you are coming to Abuja. You see, go there now. From Gwagwalada, as I would understand, to Port Harcourt is now 35,000, 40,000 from Gwagwalada. So how do you reconcile that with price of commodities? So just imagine, and as against 8,000, 10,000 naira from Abuja to Port Harcourt. In the last 2 years, price of goods and services has actually skyrocketed because of these petroleum problems. And Mr. President should solve it. It's solvable. It's not, we don't have a magic wand. We have the crude.
But do you remember Mr. President saying that there is nothing, why the protest, during the protest, the end bad governance protest, after Mr. President's address, it don't seem like Mr. President have this intention of even reversing the fuel subsidy. So Mr. President has removed the fuel subsidy, and even up to date, even as Nigeria is suffering, even as the economy is crashing, Mr. President is, from the look of things, is not looking like is going to, reverse back the fuel subsidy. I think
reversal of fuel subsidy or reversal of petroleum product prices is now becoming a thing of danger because it's two-way danger. The reason I said Mr. President should address us, the state of things in that ministry is like NNPC is becoming insolvent, if not insolvent, and they are trying to cover up for us. If not, if I'm a father, if I can afford school fees of my children, I should not be taking an excuse from giving an excuse with the management of my children's school. Though network is bad, I'm not ready to pay, I'm fighting you, I don't want to pay. That means I don't have that money to pay.
Exactly.
So I believe NNPC is insolvent. For NNPC to come out and tell us that $6 billion is being owed to marketers, I believe it is becoming something else. That where are the profits coming from the crude? Where are they going to?
Exactly.
We have crude in abundance. If you cannot do, you can do exchange by barter. Dangote refinery or any other refinery, okay, refine this product in excess for us. Take this crude as money. We are not going to send money to you marketers. Take crude so that petroleum product will be affordable for Nigerians at least 300 naira or 250 naira per liter. We should go back there. Nigerians are willing to pay. We are not lazy people. But government is not making the environment economically conducive for us to thrive.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. We are out of time. But before we go, let's hear from this last caller. Good morning, and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is calling you from
Gwarimpa, Abuja. Abo, I can barely hear you. Kindly speak up a bit, and you have just 60 seconds. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just want to commend your guest there. He has actually laid out everything that needs to be said.
All right.
Three basic things we're talking about. You see, when we talk of oxygen that keeps a man alive, in our country today, it's petrol that is our oxygen. And as it is, we cannot say what the cost of petrol will be in 3 months or in 6 months time, which is quite a shame. They talk around refineries here and there. It's neither here or there because the issues that surround that whole thing about refining our product is not about to go away. Giving them crude at higher rate is just for a couple of months. After a while, we revert because we virtually live on crude sales that gives us dollars. That is when we get our foreign exchange or the foreign exchange we talk about. Until those issues are clearly tackled, we'll still be in the dark. Unfortunately, nobody can come now and tell you this is our plan for the next couple of months. No, the NNPC group MD, as we talked about, he has said it.
unfortunately. So that has to be tackled. Then, of course, he talked about the second issue of the foreign exchange itself. What is the CBN government doing? What is the central bank doing? There's nothing clear at all. There's really nothing clear. Everything now you're talking of food, because food security, that determines the reason you have these protests here and there is as a result of hunger.
All right.
The food, they're no longer coming out from the farms for reasons we are talking about. Insecurity.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Nothing clear has been made out to say, yes, this is the direction we are going. And until we have a clear plan, we in the streets understand what is going on, it will continue. Unfortunately, the trip is just to go and sign one bilateral trade agreement. Don't go beyond that. That is what happens for every trip. The previous one, what has been done? Those trade negotiation we undergo. Where is the outcome?
All right, thank you very much. Your observation are noted, and thank you for calling. Apologies, we are really out of time, and we just have to go. All right, some other time. Have yourself a wonderful day. LMEs, thank you especially for Fatai for coming. It's been a wonderful time with you in the studio, and thank you for your contribution.
Thanks for having me.
Well, at this point, this is where we'll draw the curtain for today's episode on the press. Until we come away some other time. But before I go, let me leave you with the one word, and Nigeria is our country, and we must make sure that it works irrespective of what we are facing right now. You could do your own part as an individual, while the government will continue to hold the government accountable on their own part. Until we come away some other time, I am Messi Emelite. God bless Nigeria, and do have yourself a wonderful September. Bye for now.